Unmanageability in my life. When I was the worst of my drinking, my life was very unmanageable, and I didn't know it yet. I would wake up in the morning, and once again, I would have some kind of alcohol in the house just to kind of get me through my day. And then on my way to work, I would purposely get ready early, so that way I could stop at the liquor store on my way to work. And I knew what stores sold what at what time, and I knew that there were multiple stores, within my area that I could go to. And what I would do is I would purposely, go to a different one each time, just so that way they wouldn't recognize me, so that way they wouldn't see me coming in there daily, to go get more alcohol. And I would, kind of hit multiple places each time, just so that way, they wouldn't recognize me every time I came in. So I was already, planning out my day based on what liquor store I was going to go to. Some days my day would start early, and I knew that I had enough alcohol to get my way to work. But once again, in my state, they do allow liquor sales as early as 6 a.m. in some places. So I would know what gas stations to stop at. I would Google what gas stations to stop at. I would Google different ones that I knew sold wine versus some sold beer. And I wasn't much of a beer drinker because I knew that you could smell it a lot more than what you could smell with wine and alcohol, right? I mean, that's totally logical thinking, right? And so, I mean, the unmanageability was not only with just thinking about alcohol, it was my husband didn't know who I was anymore. He did not know, like, who is this person every single day, because I would wake up in the morning, I would be fine, and then when I came home in the afternoon, I had been drinking all day, completely different personality, completely different person. And he at one point had mentioned, like, I thought you were bipolar. Like, I totally thought like you had an issue with you, because you would just be someone completely different in the afternoon. And he had no idea who I was anymore, the unmanageability would also be like my kids were acting out. They were much younger at the time, but I had family come and visit me, and my son was acting out, and I wasn't doing anything about it because I just wanted him to go away. Instead of teaching that discipline early, that this is not how we treat mommy and daddy, I wasn't doing any of that. And my family got upset because they were like, what are you doing? You can't let your kid act like that. You can't let your kid get away with that. And I mean, the unmanageability was that, also I was lying a lot, like an insane amount of lying. I was lying to my husband. I was lying to work. I was lying to my coworkers. I was lying to my family. I was lying to everybody else. And most of all, I was lying to myself. Because I didn't want to admit the fact that I was an alcoholic, and I just didn't know it yet, And I mean, it was all over the place. I would call out of work constantly. I would fake throw-ups at work just so I could go home to drink more. I would, base my entire day on alcohol the whole day. Where I worked, we would have to wear shirts with the logo on our shirts. And so I'd purposely have another shirt in my car that I would wear inside stores, so that way they wouldn't see my work logo on my shirt. I would do all these things to, once again, try and hide the fact that, I'm drinking all the time, and I'm drinking at work. It was an insane period of time, because I thought I was really, really good at hiding it. I thought I had all the plans. I thought I had all the ways that nobody would know, and I didn't. It was very sad. Another big thing about my unmanageability has just been, recently. Once again, lying about where I'm going, lying about where I'm supposed to be, leaving work, telling lies so I can leave work to go drink, telling lies at home to my husband. He now is at the point that he knows when I'm drinking. Like, as soon as I get a drink in my body, he knows immediately right away, like, this is not right. Like, you're drinking. And no matter how hard I tried to act sober, he knows right away. And it was just spiraling out of control. I had my double life that I was living. I had my life that, I thought I was putting on for the world, and people didn't know, but they knew. They knew right away. And I was getting in trouble at work. I got fired from my job. I was blacking out constantly. Unfortunately, in the first year of my daughter's life, I don't remember a lot of it because I was drinking very heavily. And it's sad, to think that I don't have those memories anymore. I have pictures on my phone that I took of her, so I can go back and look at a lot of those photos. But I missed watching her grow up. I missed a lot of that stuff because I was so concerned about alcohol. I was so selfish in my own mind that I wasn't thinking about, I'm going to miss these times. I'm going to miss these times when she, does this kind of face, or she says her first word, or, and those are very precious memories, and I just don't have them. All I have are just photos, Now with the unmanageability, once I start obsessing about it, when I start allowing that, in my head, my work goes out the window. My work starts to suffer. The people around me at work start to notice that something's different today. And, a lot of things I just let slip. I'm typically really good about, maintaining my home life, making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be. I'm kind of like the go-to person for everything. Is it picture day? Do they have, an open house at school? Do we have to go do this at this time with this family member? And so everybody relied on me to be the one to do that. But of course, when I'm drinking, forget about all those things. And so life just starts to slip quite a bit. And, it is very unmanageable. I had, this morning I was talking about the powerless over it, where I was having a hard time admitting that I was powerless. I had a hard time admitting that my life was unmanageable because I'm very much of a person that has to be structured, has to have my life in a certain way. I do things every day the exact same way just because, that's my personality, that's who I am. And I wasn't doing that. I was allowing myself to slip. House is a mess. Clothes aren't folded. Dishes aren't done. Because I'd rather just sit on the couch and drink and hide the fact that I'm drinking. And, it's very, once again, that meeting last night that we had about the step one, I'm still living that every day. My life is unmanageable. But getting back into the program and admitting that it right there is the hardest part, because this is where the first step really just means honesty. You need to be honest again, and I'm not being honest, and that's why I enjoy having this avenue, because I at least have something that I can be honest to, whether it's just me and myself, and that's really the biggest person that I need to be honest to is to myself. And I was fortunate enough. I know a lot of people went through a lot harder times in their life, but fortunately for me, I still have my house, I still have my family. They may be in a wreck, they may be, all over the place, but I still have my car, I still have my job, and I just have to be grateful for the things that I have, because they can easily just get taken away like that. And right now my husband and I are having a tough time in our relationship just because he's not trusting me with every right to do so. I only did this to myself. I didn't nobody forced me to do this. No one, told my husband to, start doing these things. I told him, to start doing these things to keep me honest and keep me accountable. And so, I'm just having a hard time grasping, what he's asking me to do, just because I don't want to feel like I'm being, treated like a child, but I'm acting like a child, So my life is definitely unmanageable. I'm working on it every day. I started my to-do list of things that I need to get done, and that's really been helping just to kind of keep me on track, to make sure that I've got my life in order. It's not in shambles. But, when I drink, it is like a tornado just comes through and just wrecks everything. It really, really wrecks everything. So, it all starts from the beginning. It all starts from here. And I'm excited to be here. 4 days sober. That's always a good thing to say. I'm going to keep, sober every day this week. This weekend's going to be a hectic weekend. Once again, we've got a big holiday coming up. So just trying to deal with, everything that's, coming with that. But at least I'm keeping myself busy, and I'm keeping my mind busy, because when my mind starts to wander, I start to wander. So I hope everybody else has something that they can do, to kind of keep themselves busy and keep their minds busy, and whatever it may be, comic books, video games, cleaning the house, going for a walk, whatever the case may be, because we all need something, to help keep us focused, to help keep us in line. So I hope everybody else has a great day.